Have you ever wondered why companies in industries like steel, automobiles, and tourism struggle for years to become billion-dollar businesses, while platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram seem to achieve that status in just a few years? The reason is something called the attention economy. In the early days, people made money through agriculture, which was the agricultural economy. Then came the industrial economy. Now we're living in the attention economy. You might not believe it yet, so let's try a little experiment to show you what I mean. Wherever you are right now, whether you're standing, sitting on a sofa, or lying on your bed, notice your posture and get comfortable. Now take a deep breath. Did you do it? Yes, why did you? You're just staring at a piece of glass and metal. Yet here you are following my instructions. That's because your attention is on this video. I'm not trying to trick you. This experiment is just to show you that your attention is more valuable than your money. Today, ads, movies, TV shows, music, newspapers, companies, and even the government all want your attention. Why? Because when something captures and holds your attention, it can slowly influence or even manipulate your behavior. Businesses can sell you products, politicians can win your votes, and ideologies or religious groups can make you a part of their community. Your attention can be used positively or negatively. Whether you believe it or not, attention is the fundamental currency in our current economy. Many people today find it hard to focus on just one thing for even a short time. Studies show that if a website takes more than 3 to 4 seconds to load, over 20% of people will just close it. Over 50% of people won't return to a restaurant where they had to wait for their food. Amazon even found that if their site takes a few seconds longer to load, they could lose over $1.6 billion a year. All these examples highlight how distracted we've become. Let's take the example of Chris Bailey, a Canadian productivity consultant. Chris realized his life was consumed by screens, from his phone screen first thing in the morning to his computer screen at work, to his smartwatch's screen for checking his screen time, to digital billboards during his commute. His attention was constantly being pulled in multiple directions. To change this, he spent years traveling the world, doing research on focus and attention, meeting scientists and experts, and eventually writing a book on the topic. Chris emphasizes that your attention is the most precious commodity in this world. According to Timothy Wilson, a professor of psychology at the University of Virginia, the human brain receives about 11 million bits of information every second from our environment but can process only about 40 of them. This means our brain has limited attentional space, kind of like our brain's RAM. Just like a smartphone with more RAM can handle larger applications without crashing, the more attentional space your brain has, the more focused you can be on important tasks. So, how can you improve your attention span? Here are some tips. 1. Manage your attentional space ***. Your goal should be to increase your attentional capacity. A good night's sleep can increase your attentional capacity by up to 50%. If you lose an hour of sleep, you could lose up to 2 hours of productivity the next day. Overloading your attentional space with too many tasks will only make you more distracted. When it comes to productivity, the fewer things you focus on, the more productive you become. 2. Practice low simulation ***. People think their brains are easily distracted, but research shows that our brains are not distracted, they are simulated. We want to check Instagram stories, see how many likes our photos got, and do 100 other things all at once. Our brains constantly crave new information and new experiences. Just like our bodies need food to function well, our minds need quality content. Years ago, people would read novels for entertainment, which could take weeks to finish, forcing them to focus on one thing for a long time. But now, people's attention spans are shrinking year by year. Today, the overconsumption of short, dopamine-releasing content like memes and viral videos has made our brains hungry for constant stimulation. When you try to do something important, you quickly get bored because your brain has become addicted to constant stimulation. This is why, when you sit down to study, you suddenly remember all the errands you need to run. A study showed that a teenager spends an average of just 10 seconds on an Instagram post, and every swipe introduces thousands of new things to engage with. This keeps the brain stimulated and makes it more distracted. Chris Bailey says that to do deep work and focus intensely, your brain must be in a low simulation state. To achieve this, he tried various boring activities like reading iTunes terms and conditions for an hour, counting zeros in the first 1,000 digits of pi, and counting the grains of rice in a bag. After a month of such activities, he noticed his attention span increased, and he could focus on tasks without putting too much strain on his brain. His mind was less stimulated and more stable. To keep your brain in a low simulation state, set goals for your media consumption. For example, before clicking on any audio or video link, ask yourself, do I really need this information, or am I just consuming it because I'm emotional? Avoid living on autopilot and learn to embrace boredom. Try working out without music or podcasts, spend a few days without watching YouTube videos, and see if you can tolerate a low simulation state. If you can, no distraction will be able to derail you. 3. Embrace doing nothing ***. Doing nothing isn't a waste of time. While deep focus is the most productive mode for the brain, there's another mode called scatter focus, where the brain is most creative. Great ideas often come not when people are actively thinking, but when they're doing other things, like taking a shower, washing dishes, or relaxing under a tree. That's why scatter focus encourages engaging in mundane, mindless activities daily, like cooking, cleaning, or observing people. These activities free up your brain to connect the dots in the background, often leading to sudden eureka moments. Chris suggests trying a disconnection ritual. Every evening, disconnect from the internet from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. On Sundays, he and his wife completely disconnect from the digital world to spend time in nature or with family. If you're out for dinner, try the phone swap technique. Exchange phones with the person you're with so you both stay present in the moment without digital distractions. Your attention shapes your life. If you're constantly distracted and your brain is overstimulated, you'll create a life that's chaotic. But if you learn to tolerate boredom, you'll find more productivity, focus, creativity, and ultimately a better life. To sum up, prioritize giving your attention to what truly matters. Learn to tolerate boredom. You don't need to be bored for an hour. Even a few minutes of boredom can help you build the mental capacity to focus and live a more meaningful life. Thank you for watching.